In the depths of forgotten shadows, where silence reigns supreme, lies a place shrouded in darkness and mystery. They call it Kolygota Cursed Land, where reality blurs and fears come alive. Legend whispers that if you dare to look into its depths, you will see not just your reflection, but the true face of your soul, dark, twisted, and unrecognizable. This is the story of Vikram, a man haunted by his inner demons, drawn to Kali Got by an unexplainable force. Vikram was an ordinary manner, quiet, introspective soul whose mind often wandered into the shadows. Once he was an artist, capturing beauty on canvas, creating worlds filled with light and hope. But life's disappointments and heartbreaks had chipped away at his innocence, turning his art into obsession, and his obsession into an unquenchable thirst for the macabre. He longed to confront the darkness within, to see what lurked behind the mask he wore every day. One night, driven by a strange, irresistible urge, Vikram heard whispers about Kolygota, a place where the soul's true reflection could be seen, where fears and secrets come alive. They say that if you stand at the water's edge and look deep enough, your darkest self will stare back at you, compelled by a force he could neither understand nor resist. Vikram set out alone into the night. He traveled through dense forests, the air thick with the scent of damp earth and decay. The moon hung low, casting long, eerie shadows that seemed to reach out and grab at him. When he finally arrived at Kaligot, the sight was chilling. The ruins stretched out like bones of a forgotten world, silent, haunting, waiting. The wind whispered through broken stones, and somewhere in the darkness, unseen eyes seemed to watch. Vikram stepped cautiously into the forbidding silence. His footsteps echoed softly on the cracked stones. The air was heavy, oppressive, as if the very earth was holding its breath. In the center of the ruins, he found a dark, still pond, black as ink, reflecting nothing but emptiness. This was the mirror of Kaligot. Pia knelt beside it, peering into the water. At first, he saw only his own reflection, composed, yet somehow distant. But then the water rippled. The reflection changed. The face that stared back was not his own. Pale, gaunt, with hollow eyes that seemed to swallow the dim moonlight. A smile touched its lips, sinister and cold. Vikram's heart pounded in his chest. The reflection moved on its own, whispering secrets in a voice that sounded like the rustling wind, like whispers from the depths of hell. It told him things he had never dared to admit, his darkest thoughts, his hidden fears, the blood-stained memories he had buried deep within. The reflection's eyes bored into his soul, peeling away the layers of his sanity. He tried to look away, but the water held him captive. The reflection's smile widened, revealing teeth, jagged and blackened. It beckoned him closer, urging him to see the truth, his truth, that he was not the man he thought he was, but something far darker, something born from the shadows he had always tried to hide. As he stared into the abyss, a terrible realization sank in. The reflection was not just a mirror of his face, but a mirror of his soul, corrupted, broken, and haunted by his sins. It whispered of murders committed in silence, of secrets kept buried beneath layers of guilt, of a darkness that had always lurked within, waiting for the right moment to surface. Vikram's breath grew ragged. The shadows around him seemed to come alive, shifting, twisting, reaching out with unseen claws. The air grew colder, and a sense of dread seeped into his bones. The reflection's voice grew louder, calling, taunting, warning him that the darkness he had feared most was now a part of him. He tried to turn away, to run from the cursed water, but his legs felt rooted to the ground. The reflection's face morphed into something even more horrifying, mask of pure evil. A creature born from the nightmares he had suppressed. It screamed silent screams, echoing in his mind, tearing apart his sanity. And then, suddenly, everything went silent. The water calmed. The reflection disappeared. Vikram was left trembling, alone in the darkness, his mind shattered, his soul forever marked. The place had shown him the truth, that within every human, lurking beneath the surface, is a shadow, the dark reflection of what we truly are. He staggered away from Kollygot, forever changed. The memories of that night haunted him, the image of his own twisted face, the whispers, the shadows. His obsession with darkness only grew stronger, feeding on the fear and guilt he carried. He knew now that some reflections are not meant to be seen, some truths too terrible to face. And so the story ends with a warning. Beware the dark reflection, for it reveals not just who you are, but what you become when you stare into the abyss long enough.